Welcome to this Tybootha deep dive presentation. Today we're really getting into the power of the mind. We're looking closely at John Assaraf's book, The Power of Visualization, Master the Science of Rapid Goal Achievement.
Yeah, and Assaraf himself is pretty fascinating. He's not just some academic theorist. He's a really successful entrepreneur, built businesses.
Hmm.
And he spent decades, literally decades, studying brain science and human potential.
Right, specifically how it connects to actually getting results.
Exactly. He's been involved in those New York Times bestsellers, appeared on big shows like Larry King, Anderson Cooper. So he brings this real-world perspective. He's seen this work in practice.
Which is key, isn't it? So the book isn't just theory, it's really trying to demystify visualization, make it practical, a tool anyone can use for their goals. Almost like, a user's manual for your own brain.
That's a good way to put it.
So our mission here today is to pull out those core ideas, the actionable techniques from Assaraf. We want you, listening, to really get how you can use visualization effectively. Maybe have a few aha moments about your own mind's power.
Yeah, unlock that potential.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. According to Assaraf, what is visualization fundamentally?
Well, in simple terms, the book defines it as basically forming a mental image of something that's not physically in front of you right now. Could be the past, could be something happening elsewhere, or, and this is key for goals, something you want in the future.
Okay.
Assaraf really frames it as mental rehearsal.
Mental rehearsal. I like that.
Yeah, instead of just vaguely hoping for success, you're actively picturing it, playing it out in detail in your mind, achieving the goal, living that desired life.
So it's much more active than just like daydreaming, more purposeful.
Exactly. Purposeful.
And it's interesting, this isn't some new age fad, is it? The book mentions it has a history.
Oh yeah, definitely not new. Assaraf points out that people have understood the power of mental imagery for centuries. Think about ancient Greek athletes. They'd mentally run through their events before the actual Olympics. They believed it gave them an edge.
Wow. Before sports psychology was even a thing.
Right. And he also mentions ancient Egyptians using mental imagery in spiritual practices, visualizing outcomes they wanted.
So it's time-tested. It makes you think, what did they know intuitively back then?
Exactly. What we're now maybe understanding more scientifically.
So it's not just picturing crossing the finish line, but maybe feeling the effort, hearing the sounds, that kind of deep hit.
Precisely. Engaging more senses.
Now, the book talks about using visualization for the past, present, and future. How does that break down?
Okay, so visualizing the past.
Yeah.
That's about deliberately recalling your own past successes. You vividly remember a time you nailed something, overcame a challenge. That boosts your confidence now. Reignites that feeling of capability.
Right, reminding yourself, I've done hard things before.
Exactly. Then, for the future, that's the classic goal visualization. You create this really clear, compelling picture of your goal as if it's already happened.
Like preluding it.
Yeah. It creates a mental blueprint. Your subconscious starts guiding you towards it.
And the present, how does that work?
In the present, it's more like mental prep for immediate situations. Say you've got a stressful meeting coming up or a presentation. You vividly picture it going smoothly, successfully. That can seriously improve your actual performance and cut down the anxiety.
That makes a lot of sense, like mentally walking the path just before you take it.
Mm.
And Assaraf really stresses the brain's visual capacity in all this, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge point in the book. He mentions that something like a quarter of our brain's processing power is dedicated just to handling visual information.
A quarter, wow.
Yeah, think about that. So much brain power focused on what we see, or, importantly here, what we imagine seeing. So Assaraf argues that by deliberately using visualization, we're tapping into this massive system. We can actually create new neural pathways.
Yeah.
Essentially rewiring our brains to support our goals.
Rewiring the brain. That's powerful. Okay, so our brains love visuals. Let's dig into the science then. How does this rewiring actually happen? The book talks a lot about the conscious versus the subconscious mind.
Right. That's fundamental to his explanation. He describes the conscious mind as, the part that's doing the active thinking, analyzing, planning, deciding. It focuses, but it's sort of linear, one thing at a time.
And easily distracted.
And easily distracted, like trying to focus when your phone's constantly buzzing. That's the conscious mind struggling.
Got it. The captain trying to steer the ship needs focus. So what about the subconscious, the engine room, maybe?
That's a great analogy. The book portrays the subconscious as this well, powerhouse running everything in the background.
Hmm.
Automatic stuff like your heartbeat, breathing, but also habits, emotions, long-term memories. It juggles like tons of things at once.
Way more than the conscious mind.
Oh, vastly more. Assaraf throws out this mind-boggling number, like 10 quadrillion biochemical processes happening every moment, managed by the subconscious. It's constantly taking in sensory data we're not even aware of.
10 quadrillion.
Okay.
Okay, that's hard to even grasp. So, conscious mind, rational, maybe prone to overthinking. Subconscious, more emotional, intuitive, running on autopilot based on past programming.
Pretty much, yeah.
So how does visualization bridge that gap? How does it get the subconscious working for our goals, not against them?
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. Assaraf's point is our conscious mind sets the goal, right? But it's the subconscious that drives most of our actual behavior, habits, impulses.
Okay.
Visualization works because it speaks the language of the subconscious,
Yeah.
images and emotions.
Uh-huh.
When you create those vivid, positive mental movies, the subconscious doesn't really distinguish strongly between something actually experienced and something vividly imagined with feeling. So these mental rehearsals start to reprogram it. They align your deep-seated beliefs and automatic actions with what you consciously want to achieve.
So you're showing the subconscious the finish line photo, so to speak, and it starts acting as if that's the reality, pulling you towards it.
Exactly. It starts to adjust your behavior and perceptions to match that image.
The book also mentions cells of recognition. What's that about?
Think of them as like specific networks of neurons in your brain. When you repeatedly visualize a specific goal, you strengthen the connections in these networks. Assaraf calls them cells of recognition.
Okay.
The more you visualize, the stronger they get. And this makes your subconscious mind super attuned to spotting things, opportunities, resources, ideas that are related to your goal. It's like installing a custom filter in your brain.
Like a mental radar, specifically tuned to your goal. I like that.
Exactly.
Now, the conscious mind, great for planning, maybe not always the best at sticking with it, right?
Right.
The book touches on this weakness.
Definitely. The conscious mind can set brilliant goals, make detailed plans, but, willpower flags, it gets distracted, discouraged.
We've all been there.
Right. Assaraf uses this analogy of a film director with a great script. That's the conscious goal. But they need the whole crew, the lighting, the actors, the sound guys, all working together to actually make the movie. That crew is the subconscious.
Okay.
The subconscious has immense resources, runs on habit, holds lifelong memories. It's this incredibly powerful personal supercomputer. Once you get it aligned with the goal, it provides the consistent drive the conscious mind often lacks.
And visualization is the way to communicate the script to the crew, to get the subconscious on board.
That's the idea. It's the communication tool.
Okay, let's dive deeper then into how exactly visualization engages that subconscious crew. What are the mechanics?
Well, the core principle, as we touched on, is that the subconscious responds to vivid, emotionally charged mental movies as if they're real. Assaraf brings in research from sports psychology, astronaut training, areas where visualization is standard practice and demonstrably improves performance.
Right, you hear about athletes doing this all the time.
Exactly. And the fascinating part is why it works. Brain scans show that when you mentally imagine performing an action, many of the same brain regions light up as when you actually perform it.
No way.
Yeah. So by visualizing success repeatedly, you're literally strengthening the neural pathways needed for that success. It's like practicing in your mind, building muscle memory mentally.
So the brain almost can't tell the difference between vivid imagination and reality. That's kind of mind-blowing.
It really is. And it leads to some significant benefit.
Okay, let's talk benefits. Chapter 2 goes into this. What are the big mental and emotional advantages?
There are quite a few. The book highlights improved focus and concentration. Picturing yourself completing tasks helps train your brain to stay on task.
Makes sense.
It's also a great stress reducer. Mentally whisking yourself away to a peaceful beach, that can actually trigger your body's relaxation response.
I could use it right now.
Tell me about it. Also, visualizing success naturally builds confidence and self-belief. Makes sense, right? You see yourself succeeding. And finally, it boosts emotional resilience. If you mentally rehearse handling a tough situation well, like a difficult conversation, you're better prepared emotionally when it actually happens.
That mental prep for difficult moments seems really practical.
Ah.
Okay, what about physical stuff? Does visualization actually impact our bodies and performance?
Assaraf argues strongly that it does. We mentioned athletes, mental rehearsal sharpens muscle memory, coordination. Michael Phelps visualizing every detail of his races is a famous example.
Yeah, down to the water temperature, apparently.
Incredible detail. But it's not just athletes. The book touches on using visualization to potentially speed up healing or manage pain, imagining your body healing itself, cells regenerating.
Wow.
There's even some suggestion it can boost the immune system, possibly by reducing stress. And for motor skills, Assaraf quotes Muhammad Ali. If my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it.
That really captures it.
Yeah, the power of mental practice impacting physical results.
Okay. From elite sports to our own health, the potential seems huge. So how do we actually do this effectively? Chapter 3 gets into the techniques. What's Assaraf's core formula for making it work?
He lays out this key formula, calls it the formula for success. It's repetition plus consistency plus emotional impact, new reality.
Oh, break that down.
Right. So repetition and consistency are crucial. Just visualizing once or twice isn't enough. You need to do it regularly, make it a habit to really imprint it on the subconscious.
Makes sense, like building any skill.
Exactly. And the third piece, emotional impact, is maybe the most critical. You can't just passively picture something. You need to feel it.
Feel the success.
Yes. Feel the joy, the relief, the excitement, the pride of having already achieved your goal. That emotional charge is what really anchors the visualization in your subconscious, strengthens those neural pathways, and starts shifting your reality.
Repetition, consistency, emotion. Got it. That sounds like the recipe.
Yeah.
And the book gives specific techniques.
Yeah, he details 3 main ones and encourages you to try them and see what clicks for you.
Okay.
First is affirmation or power word visualizations. Here, you pair a positive statement and affirmation with the mental image. So if you want more confident speaking, you might repeat, I speak clearly and confidently, while vividly picturing yourself doing just that, feeling calm and powerful.
Combining the words and the image.
Right. Second is image visualizations. This is about creating those clear mental pictures, and vision boards are a great tool for this.
Ah, vision boards. I've heard of those.
Yeah, collages of images, words representing your goals. Assaraf actually suggests different types. A theme board for one life area, like career, and I know exactly what I want, board for super specific goals, like a particular house, and an opening and allowing board, which is more about attracting possibilities, using inspiring images without fixed outcomes.
Tailoring the vision board. That's a neat idea. What's the third technique?
The third one is scripted scenario visualizations. This is probably the most detailed. You create a full mental script, like a mini movie scene where you've achieved your goal. You involve all your senses.
All senses.
Yeah, what do you see, hear, smell, touch? How do you feel? The book gives examples, your ideal job situation, relationship, health, finances. You immerse yourself in that achieved reality.
Wow, that sounds powerful. Really making it feel real to the subconscious.
That's the goal, make it feel absolutely real.
Okay, so we have the techniques, but Assaraf also stresses that it's a journey, right? Chapter 4 talks about trusting the journey. What does that involve?
Yeah, this is important because results aren't always instant. He emphasizes 3 things: patience, positivity, and purposeful action.
Okay, patience.
Patience is about trusting the process, knowing things unfold in their own time, relaxing, enjoying the journey, and seeing every small step as progress, not getting discouraged if things don't happen overnight.
That can be hard, but crucial.
Yeah.
And positivity.
Positivity is presented as essential for attracting good things, right. So focusing on gratitude, joy, abundance, feeling good now helps attract more of that. He advises acknowledging doubts if they come up, but not dwelling on them. Gently redirect your focus back to the positive vision. Surround yourself with uplifting stuff.
Creating that positive internal environment. Yeah. Okay, and the third part, purposeful action. Visualization isn't just sitting on the couch thinking happy thoughts.
Absolutely not. That's a key distinction Assaraf makes. Purposeful action is the vital link. It bridges the gap between the dream and the reality.
So how does he suggest we take action?
It's a practical process. Set clear, specific goals. Write them down. Break big goals into smaller steps, maybe with deadlines. Then, the most important part, take consistent daily action. Even small steps add up. Track your progress. Celebrate the wins. And be flexible. Adjust your plan if needed.
Yeah.
He also mentions listening to your intuition, being bold when an opportunity feels right, and constantly reconnecting with your big why, your deep reason for wanting the goal to keep the motivation burning.
So it's that powerful combo. The inner work of visualization and mindset, plus the outer work of consistent, inspired action.
Exactly. They work together.
But what about when doubt inevitably shows up? We all face that. Chapter 4 also covers overcoming doubts.
Yeah, the book is realistic about this. Doubts and obstacles are normal. Assaraf actually frames them as chances to strengthen what he calls your faith muscles.
Faith muscles, I like that.
Yeah, your ability to believe in your vision despite challenges. To overcome doubt, he suggests things like reconnecting with your why, revisualizing your dream life intensely, feeling the positive emotions, practicing gratitude for what you do have.
Focusing on the positive, grounding yourself.
Right. Also, reminding yourself of past successes. Being kind to yourself when you feel doubt, self-compassion is important. Maintaining a positive environment and just persistently visualizing success. It's about consciously choosing faith over fear, again and again.
Actively choosing belief. Okay, now to make this stick, it needs to become a habit. Chapter 4 also gives ideas for daily routines.
Consistency is everything, he stresses. So integrate it into your day. Maybe a short 5–10 minute visualization session first thing in the morning. Sets a positive tone.
Okay.
And perhaps a few minutes in the evening. Reflect on progress, visualize more success, feel grateful. The key is making it regular, like brushing your teeth. That consistent practice builds momentum.
Weaving it into the daily fabric. Makes sense. Okay, finally, the book wraps up by connecting visualization to the law of attraction. How does that fit in?
Assaraf explains the law of attraction simply as, like, attracts like. Our dominant thoughts, feelings, our overall energy. They tend to draw similar experiences to us. So visualization becomes a primary tool for consciously directing that energy. By focusing your thoughts and emotions on what you desire, through vivid visualization, you're actively engaging the law of attraction to pull those experiences towards you.
So visualization is like the steering wheel for the law of attraction.
That's a good way to think about it. You're giving the universe clear instructions about what you want to attract, backed by emotional energy.
And the book lists 10 qualities for manifesting miracles to support this. Can you quickly run through those?
Sure. These are qualities that amplify manifestation. Number 1 is clarity, knowing exactly what you want, in detail. 2 is faith, that unwavering trust. 3, gratitude, appreciating what you have now.
Okay.
4, positivity, focusing on the good. 5, detachment, letting go of how it will happen, trusting the timing. 6, action, taking those inspired steps. 7, resilience, seeing setbacks as learning opportunities. 8, generosity, giving freely, opens you to receiving. 9, self-love, knowing you're worthy. And 10, alignment, thoughts, feelings, actions, all working together towards your vision.
Wow, those cover a lot of ground. They all seem to reinforce each other.
They really do. Cultivating these qualities alongside your visualization practice creates a powerful synergy for attracting what you want.
Okay, so let's sum this up. Our deep dive into John Assaraf's The Power of Visualization shows it's really a science-backed way to leverage our subconscious mind for goal achievement. It's not magic, but a practical skill involving consistent, emotional visualization combined with patience, positivity, and purposeful action.
Exactly. Understanding that conscious-subconscious dynamic, using specific techniques, and maybe aligning with principles like the law of attraction through those 10 qualities, it provides a comprehensive toolkit.
It really demystifies visualization, makes it accessible.
That's the core message, I think. It's
Yeah.
a powerful tool available to everyone.
So, thinking about all this, now that you, listening, have this blueprint for harnessing your mind's power, here's something to consider. What's one specific area of your life where you'll start actively visualizing your desired outcome, maybe starting today? And just as importantly, what's one small, consistent action you can pair with that visualization to start moving towards it? Thank you for joining us for this Tybootha Deep Dive presentation.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
And if this sparked your interest and you want the full picture, definitely check out the book by John Assaraf, The Power of Visualization, Master the Science of Rapid Goal Achievement.